Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and join the Demon Slayer squad. We're diving deep into this masterpiece of an anime, episode by episode. Today, we're talking about episode 14 of Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, the 2019 season that just grabbed us all by the heart and refused to let go. Man, this show's got that perfect mix of heart-wrenching drama and those moments that make you laugh so hard you forget you're supposed to be crying. And episode 14? Oh boy, it's like the series decided to hit the pause button on the demon slaying intensity just long enough to let us breathe, and maybe crack a smile or two. But don't worry, I'm not going to spoil a single twist or turn. I'm just going to walk you through every beat of this episode like we're chatting over ramen late at night. Grab your niche-hidden blade, okay, maybe just a snack, and let's jump in. So, picture this. The dust from the last insane battle is barely settled. Tanjiro's just come out of that wild drumhouse showdown, his senses still tingling from all the chaos inside. He's catching his breath, Nezuko tucked safely in her box on his back, when out of nowhere, this wild figure charges at him like a boar straight out of the mountains. I mean, this guy's got a full-on boar head mask covering his face, muscles rippling like he's been forged in some ancient warrior fire, and he's swinging those dual swords with zero regard for personal space. Tanjiro's like, whoa, hold up, are you a demon slayer too? But this masked maniac doesn't care about chit-chat. He's all about the fight, roaring and lunging like it's the most natural thing in the world. You can feel the adrenaline pumping through the screen. Tanjiro's dodging these ferocious strikes, his water-breathing forms flowing like a river trying to escape a landslide. It's raw, it's visceral, and it's got that UFO table animation magic where every clash of blades sparks like fireworks in your living room. Zenitsu, our favorite thunderbolt of anxiety, is off to the side, still recovering from whatever nightmare he just woke up from, clutching his head and whimpering about how he's too pretty to die young. He's yelling at Tanjiro to run, to not engage this beast. But Tanjiro's got that unyielding spirit, you know? The one that makes you root for him, even when the odds are stacked like a demon's web. The fight spills out into this misty forest clearing, trees shaking from the impacts, and the masked guy is relentless. Headbutts that could crack coconuts, flips that defy gravity, and this low, animalistic stance that keeps Tanjiro on his toes. Tanjiro lands a solid punch, you hear the crack of ribs echoing like thunder, and for a split second you think, okay, maybe this wild card's met his match. But nope, the boar masked dude just laughs it off. Actually laughs, this guttural wild cackle that sends chills down your spine. He's not fighting to win, he's fighting because he lives for the rush, the now, the pure thrill of clashing wills. Tanjiro's trying to reason with him mid-punch, shouting that demon slayers don't turn on each other, that there's a code, a purpose bigger than this brawl. It's emotional, right? You feel Tanjiro's frustration bubbling up, that mix of anger and pity for someone so lost in their own ferocity. And then, oh man, the headbutt. Tanjiro, fed up and channeling all that Kamado family resolve, grabs him by the shoulders and slams his forehead right into that mask. The impact? It's like two boulders colliding. Crunch, stagger, and the mask tumbles off into the dirt. Zenitsu screaming from the sidelines, convinced their skulls are shattered, brains leaking out like some tragic haiku. But when the dust clears and the figure straightens up, whoa. Underneath all that feral energy and scarred muscle is this delicate, almost ethereal face, long lashes, soft features that look like they belong in a painting, not in a battlefield. It's a reveal that hits you like a gentle wave after a storm, this stark contrast that makes your heart skip. Tanjiro's stunned, Zenitsu's jaw drops, and even Nezuko peeks out from her box with those big, curious eyes. The guy's rubbing his forehead, wincing, but grinning like it's the best pain he's ever felt, and he introduces himself Inosuke Hashibita, though he says it like a challenge, not a hello. His voice is rough, all growls and bravado, but there's this undercurrent of vulnerability peeking through, like a wild animal realizing it's not as alone as it thought it was. From there, things shift gears in the most heartwarming way. A crow swoops in. Yeah, one of those Demon Slayer messenger birds, all sleek black feathers and urgent cause, announcing that the three need to head to a safe house for recovery. Inosuke's ribs are busted, Tanjiro's got bruises blooming like dark flowers on his skin, and Zenitsu is just Zenitsu, dramatically fainting at the slightest hint of more danger. They trek through the woods, Inosuke strutting like he owns the path despite the pain shooting through his side, boasting about how he's the strongest, the king of the mountains. Tanjiro's walking beside him, offering quiet words of caution, and Nezuko's box is swaying gently, a silent reminder of the family bond holding it all together. You get these little moments of banter, Inosuke mocking Zenitsu's cowardice, Zenitsu firing back with teary-eyed rants about how real heroes don't smell like wild boar sweat. It's light, it's funny, but it tugs at you, because you see the fractures in each of them starting to mend, like threads weaving a tapestry. They arrive at this grand manor as the sun dips low, painting the sky in hues of wisteria purple. The place is stunning. Traditional Japanese architecture with sliding doors that whisper shut, and gawa verandas overlooking manicured gardens, and those iconic wisteria crests emblazoned everywhere, a symbol of protection against demons. It's run by this elderly woman, Mrs. Shinobu. Wait, no, not that Shinobu. But she has that same quiet strength, her silver hair tied back, eyes sharp but kind, like she's seen 100 battles without ever drawing a blade. She welcomes them with a grace that makes you feel like you've stumbled into a sanctuary, not just a pit stop. Nezuko's box gets a special spot in the sun, and Inosuke, he takes one look at the place and decides it's his new kingdom, charging through the halls like a tornado in silk robes. The old lady doesn't bat an eye. She's dealt with rowdy slayers before. Her family saved by the Corps generations ago, turning this haven into a debt of honor. Inside, the real magic unfolds. It's like the episode exhales with you. They get bathed and dressed in crisp yukatas, the steam from the hot springs rising like ghosts of their exhaustion, Tanjiro soaking it in, his nose picking up the subtle sense of herbs and polished wood, while Zenitsu is in blissed-out heaven, sighing about how this is what dying feels like, but better. Inosuke, though, he's a force in nature, flexing his bandaged ribs in the bath, challenging the steam to a staring contest, and when he bends backward in some insane display of flexibility, despite the fresh wraps, Tanjiro's yelling at him to stop, to think about tomorrow, about healing. Inosuke just shrugs it off with that wild philosophy, why worry about the future when the present's this alive? That line sticks, doesn't it? Makes you pause and think about your own scars, the ones you ignore because feeling something, anything, is better than numb. Dinner's a feast that could make a demon jealous. Steaming rice, miso soup swirling with green onions, grilled fish that flakes just right, pickled vegetables crunching under teeth. They eat cross-legged on tatami mats, the room lantern-lit and warm, shadows dancing like friendly spirits. And here, over bowls of food, Inosuke opens up, not in whispers but in bursts like fireworks he can't contain. He talks about growing up feral in the mountains, no parents, no village, just him and the beasts, wrestling boars for their heads, forging his own blades from scraps. Hearing about the Demon Slayer Corps was like a thunderclap. He charged into the final selection not for justice, but for the fight, the glory, the raw power of it. His eyes, those pretty mismatched eyes, gleam with a fire that's equal parts thrilling and heartbreaking. Tanjiro's listening, really listening, his face softening with that empathy that defines him, seeing not just the brute, but the boy who survived by becoming unbreakable. Zenitsu's half asleep, mumbling about how mountains sound like hell, but even he chimes in with a sleepy quick that lands just right, easing the tension. As the night deepens, the manor creaks softly like an old friend settling in. They slide open the shoji screens to a veranda overlooking the garden, fireflies blinking like fallen stars. Inosuke's still buzzing, shadow boxing the moonlight, but Tanjiro pulls him down gently, the three of them sprawling out under the eaves. Nezuko emerges quietly, her small form curling up beside her brother, and for a moment it's pure peace. No demons, no drums, just the rustle of leaves and the distant hoot of an owl. You feel it in your chest, that swell of emotion, because these kids, they're battered, they're broken in ways words can't touch, but here, in this wisteria embrace, they're starting to feel like something more, like a family forged not by blood, but by battle shared and breath stolen back from the brink. The episode wraps on that note, fading out with the Taisho era facts, twisting into something playful that had me chuckling way longer than it should have. It's these breaths between heartbeats that make demon slayers sing, reminding us that even in a world of shadows, there's room for laughter, for healing, for those quiet bonds that hit harder than any sword swing. If this episode doesn't make you love these characters a little more fiercely, I don't know what will. Tanjiro's resolve, Zenitsu's hidden heart, Inosuke's untamed soul, they're all pulling you deeper into this journey. And honestly, I'm right there with you, tearing up and grinning like a fool. What about you? Did Inosuke's reveal floor you? Or was it the Manor vibes that got you emotional? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every one, promise. If you love this breakdown, smash that like button, share with your Slayer squad, and I'll see you next time for more Kimetsu no Yaiba magic. Stay fierce,